Hello everyone and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. I would like to thank you for joining me today. Today is day number 8 of Missouri Star Quilt Company's Countdown to Christmas. I am doing project number 8, which is, and we received this in our package today, the Starlight Table Runner. And I already have my pieces cut out. I have them sit right here, and I've got my diagonals already on my little square pieces. I have more pieces than this, but this is the main gist of it. I do have my blue fabric over here just kind of waiting on me, but I am going to get right on into it. I'm moving my pieces here out of the way. I'm going to turn you guys down and put you over here where you can see what I'm doing. So stay with me and we will make this together. Hello everyone. It is actually the next day that I'm completing this project, but I did want to insert this in right here and let you know, stay to the end because I do give a final review of this project, because I'm going to speed you through a lot of the sewing because it does take a pretty decent time to sew this because you have a lot of little pieces that you are putting together on this. So just watch the video and stay to the end so you can see what my final review is. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is, our instructions tell us to gather 20 of our background rectangles, which these are my background rectangles, 4 red rectangles, 8 pink squares, and 24 red squares. Now it tells us to mark a diagonal line on each side of red and pink squares, and then we're going to start making our flying geese. So let me get everything set up and we will get started. And I do just want to let you know, it looks like it's really dark over here. That's because right here is my light from my machine and it makes everything else over here look dark. So the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to take a marked red square, and it says on the left side of a background triangle. Now I'm making sure I have thread in good, so okay, just making sure of that. So we are going to place this on the left end of the background fabric, and we're going to sew on the marked end and trim the excess 1/4 inch away from the sewn seam and press. So I'm going to turn this way so we're on the line, and I'm going to put down my lever, my foot press there. Make sure my fabric is under. Then I'm going to put my needle. So we are going to sew straight on this line. And my instructions are to trim and then to cut away. We are going to make 12 flying geese. So I am going to go ahead and see, I'll press that open, but I am going to go on ahead and do 12 of these just to maybe make it go a little quicker. No, I'm not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do it one at a time. So the next thing we do is we are going to place another red square on the right end, and this is why you press. You go ahead and press so when you sew over that you don't have two two seams trying to compete with turning. So we're making sure we're directly under or on that stitch line, putting our needle down. We're going to go ahead and get that sewn on that line. And if you are like me, you're going to draw your lines. Do not try to trust following your machine's stitch line, because my machine's got a stitch line all the way up. It's got a line all the way right here, a line here, and a line up here. Or let me show you. It's got a line right here, a line here, and then a line up here on my foot. I don't trust myself. I know it don't have to be an exact science, but I do want it to be close to correct. Okay, and I'm going to press this to the dark as well. So this is a flying geese. We're going to make 12 of these, but I'm only going to make one right now. And I'm going to go to the next step so you can see the next thing we do. So the next thing we're going to do is take a red rectangle, and we're going to take a pink square and do just like we did with the white and red. Going to make sure we have our fabric under our needle, our fabric under our presser foot rather, and our needle in the fabric, and then we are going to just sew on that line. I'm going to trim 1/4 of an inch away from the stitch line, and I am going to press to the pink side this time since it's the outside. And we are going to take another pink and put on the right end of this rectangle. Gotta get that. You know what? It may be easier if I do it this way. Got a straight edge all the way across there. Okay. So now we do this again. Lower our presser foot, raise it up just a little bit to make sure we have the fabric far enough for that needle to catch it. And then sew on that line. Okay, we have it sewn on the line. I'm going to trim 1/4 of an inch away from the stitch line and then press that over to the pink or to the outside. Okay, so our next step, now when we do this, we're going to make 4 of these flying geese. We'll take the red and pink flying geese and we're going to sew it to the top of the background flying geese. So it's going to look like this. So let me get this where we can match that up. And we're going to make 4 of these. This is a chevron flying, see what they call it, make a chevron unit. That's what this is called. I'm just sliding this under my presser foot there, making sure I'm where my needle will go in. And we're just going to sew this at 1/4 of an inch. And that's our chevron unit. Now we will make 4 of these units. So, but I am going to press this and then I will show you the next unit that we're going to make. Okay, the next step is using one of our flying geese that we made with the white and the red. So I'm going to go ahead and make one of those for you. Edit this out of the video. I'm going to go on and make the red flying geese. Okay, the next step we do is we're going to take one of our red and white flying geese. We're going to take a background rectangle and we will make 8 of these. And these are actually called, it's called set. We're going to make 2 sets of star leg units using the 8 remaining backgrounds. So the white is our background. Okay, so we will make 2 sets of these using the 8 remaining backgrounds. So I will bring you back for the rest of the pattern. Now we're moving on to our next step where we are going to take 36 of our background squares, 12 of our aqua squares, and 12 of our aqua rectangles. What we do is we are going to sew a background square to an aqua square and press. Now I will press this out towards the aqua side. Our next step is we're going to sew a rectangle onto that unit. And then we're going to press this up. Okay, so that is what this unit is going to look like. Now these are our corner units. Our next step in constructing this corner unit is going to be taking a piece of background and putting it on the top right of the unit. It's kind of difficult getting it straight. Okay, and we're just going to sew that on the unit. On the diagonal. will sew another diagonal on the bottom left of that unit. Okay, this is going to be our corner unit. We're going to make, it says make 4 to complete a set. And we're going to make a total of 3 sets, which is going to be 12. So I'll bring you back once I'm done. And we are back here. I have these done. I am going to tell you those last bit of instructions to make the corner units. Go on and make all of your aqua rectangles up. You know, when you do the white with the aqua here and then the aqua rectangles, go on and do your 12 white aqua units and your 12. Go on and make them into your squares and do your corner pieces on them. That it does not say that in the instructions, which is kind of until the very end. It says make 4 to complete a set, and then it says repeat to make a total of 3 sets of 4 corner units. So yeah, they're giving you each step one at a time, but if you want to do them all at one time, when you start making that corner unit, just do all 12 at one time. So our next step is going to be to assemble the blocks. To assemble the block, we are going to, it says arrange a set of pink, red chevron units, 1 set of corner units, and 1 pink square in 3 rows of 3. So we have our corner unit, our chevron unit, and another corner unit like this. So this is going to be our top row. I will go on and stitch our top row together so you can see what that's going to look like. And I'm just trying. Now I am not completely square, and I will tell y'all that. Okay. So this is our first side, and I'm going to go across here. We are just going to make sure that we are evened here. I'm going to press this to the outside so you can see what this looks like. And this is what our first row is looking like. Now to our second row, we're going to use a chevron unit, a pink square, and another chevron unit. So we will sew this side first, and we do have seam go in both directions, so we have to make sure that those seams don't get tucked in under there. Okay. So that is the first one. We're just going to line up. going to press so you can see what this one looks like. This is our second row. I did press towards the center so they will nest when they go together. The next row is going to be a corner unit, then a chevron unit, and another corner unit. So we are going to start by sewing this one first. Now the next thing we do is take this unit, and we will have a nested seam right here. Okay, and now I'm going to press these towards the outside again. Okay, so now we're going to assemble these two. So we just flip this one over and nest these seams. And it always helps to guide your thicker seams through. Okay, so that is the first two rows. And when I press them out, they will make a little more sense. But now we're going to put the third row on, and we'll press them all out at the same time. Okay, I'm about to press and show you what we got. Okay, so this is our first block completed. And our second block, we will take a corner unit, a chevron unit, and another corner unit. This is going to be the first row. There are quite a few nested seams on this. So, and we will also make two of these units. Making sure it's on that 1/4 of an inch and under the needle good. Then we have our second block right here where we have a V come together. Now that is going to be hard to go under the needle, so I will have to help it out just a little bit. Okay, now our center block, our center row is going to be a chevron unit, a pink square, and another chevron unit. Okay, so what we're doing is sewing these two together. Then we're going to put our other chevron unit on. And our bottom row is going to be a corner piece, a chevron unit, and another corner piece. So we will start with this corner piece. Make sure I'm doing the correct edge, because we definitely do not want to sew the wrong edge together. Okay, now let's get our next edge. Now this one does have a nested seam that we have to worry about. Okay, so I am going to press, and I will bring you back. Okay, now that I have my seams pressed, I can go on and start nesting my seams to put my 2 rows together. Now I will say, this thing did not give me what a final measurement of each of my squares should have been that I can tell. No, it did not. So I have some things that are quite off here, but hopefully they work out in the piecing here. So I'm just going to get our 3rd row on here. Okay, let me press it out and I'll bring you back to see what the block looks like. Okay, this is our 2nd block here. Measurements would be nice on this, but it still turned out to be a beautiful block, and I have to make 2 of these. So I'll bring you back when I get to my next step. I will come in and say that it does, a completed the block size, like this block size, unfinished, we do have a measurement for that. I just realized that we do have a measurement for that. We just do not have like the individual block, the individual unit piece sizes. Okay, our next step is we are going to start making our sashing. We're going to take our 36 background squares that we have remaining, our 24 remaining red squares, and our background triangles for sashing. What we're going to do, we have taken 24 of our background squares and marked a diagonal on them. And we are going to place the marked background square on top of a red background square. And we are going to sew on the marked line and then trim the excess. It says 1/4 inch away from the marked line. Now we will trim these 1/4 of an inch away from the sew line. Now that we have all of our squares trimmed, I now have to press them out. So I will be back as soon as I'm finished pressing. Now we have 24 half square triangles pressed out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the half square triangles and put them on our background rectangles. I've got to get a lot of the fuzz off here. So we have our rectangles, half square triangles. How these are going to go is we have our rectangle here, half square triangle on that end, and a half square triangle on this end. I'm going to sew these together. We're going to make a total of 12 of these. These are our 12 sashings. I am going to trim and then press them out. Well, y'all, it appears that my camera died. I am going to cut my machine on. As you can see, I was working on my sashing when it died. So I completed my sashings. And this is my top and bottom sashing, or my side sashings. But now what I'm doing is putting the sashing on this sashing on the top and bottom. So I'm going to cut my sewing machine on, and it's going to dim the light everywhere else because it's going to focus. I want y'all to see this, how this happens, and why it looks so dark in here. Okay, so I am starting on adding this sashing here. We do have some, let me cut this light. We do have some seams that are nesting on both ends. Block 3 done. Okay guys, my final review on the table topper. I will say the pattern is, for me, a little confusing. My preference of a pattern is to tell me which direction to press, or show me which direction to press in the sewing instructions as I'm sewing it, piecing it together. They do have the pressing instructions at the very end of the pattern. They do not give you individual unit sizes. I need that because, especially with this fabric, it does have a stretch to this fabric. So your pieces are not all the same. Now granted, they do tell you what the big block size should be, but I need the little block sizes too, the little square sizes too. But I think it turned out beautifully, but the pattern was confusing for me. We will see what it looks like once it is quilted and bound. I am saving a weekend or week maybe at the end of the month, hopefully, to quilt and bind everything. I may be able to get that done while I'm out of town. I may take my machine with me and do it while I'm out of town, but I don't know yet. Yeah, so it's a beautiful project, but the pattern is a little difficult for me. So my advice on making this quilt is go to the last 2 pages of the instructions, and it gives you your information there about general quilting, pressing seams, your borders, your binding, your backing. And it is a beautiful project though. I am hoping to do the meander on this. My sewing machine has an embroidery function that will do a quilting stitch. It will do the meander stitch. So that is my goal, is to try to do the meander on this to see what it's going to look like. So guys, if you are still here, please give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please click that subscribe button. Help my channel grow. Leave a comment. If you have done your project already, let me know if you had any problems out of it. It's probably just me. It really is. It's probably just me. But I love seeing any suggestions anybody gives. And as always, until I see you again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.